Hello ladies, welcome once again to my channel. So wonderful, and I'm wonderful. And today we're going to be creating our sewing goals. Yes, so what I want you to do is to get out your pen, your piece of paper, or your notebook or jotter, and we'll be going through this exercise together. Okay, so I know that many of us, the festivities are over, the parties and all, and reality is setting in. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be reviewing our past year, okay, with regards to sewing, and then we're going to be using that to visualize and plan for the present and the near future. By near future, I still mean this year. All right, so the first thing is you want to answer this question: why are you sewing? Are you sewing as a hobby, or are you sewing as a business, or you want to sew as a hobby first and then transition into taking it as a business? Any answer that you make for yourself is totally valid. I'm just going to be sharing tips on what to do, whether it's for your hobby or as a business. So we're going to be going through this quickly. Okay, get out your pen, we have work to do. So the first question is, what went well for you in your sewing journey last year? What also were the roadblocks for you? What were the hindrances, the challenges that you had? Now, this definitely will be different for every one of us, every one of you. It could be personal issues that you had that made you not being able to continue sewing or finish your sewing goals, accomplish your sewing goals. It could be time that you did not have. Maybe you have a day job, night job. It could be your children, if you have kids. It could be family time, whatever it is, whether it's something tangible or intangible. It could be money, no money to really do the things that you needed to do. And also, whatever those hindrances were, challenges were, please write them down. If it was something maybe emotional, you want to write it down, because you're still going to be looking out for those triggers this year, because they will definitely come. Okay, so that it doesn't destabilize you. Whether it was a financial thing, it's still a trigger, so that you will watch out for them, and then when you say, oh, you will dodge. Okay, this year we're working smarter. So write out whatever hindrance, whatever roadblocks that you came across last year. Another thing is, what did you struggle the most with? Yes, I know, okay, you're listing all of these things out, but what was that one thing that it was as if village people were after you? Was it your time? Was it just finishing your outfit? You start but you don't finish, you get discouraged, something comes up. Was it distraction? Just what exactly was that one thing that you struggled the most with? Was it the knowledge, not knowing exactly what to do? You have the fabrics, you have the time, but zero knowledge, or just fear of cutting your fabrics? What was that one thing that you struggled the most? And then lastly, in reviewing our past, what skill did you acquire, or did you upgrade in what sewing skill? Okay, so did you learn how to finish your outfits better? What sewing tools did you acquire or upgrade to? Did you buy a better sewing machine? Did you add a bigger sewing table to your sewing space? What were the things that you did that made you become a better dressmaker? So with that, we're going to now plan, visualize and plan our present. And what we're going to do is to realistically give good answers that will help us move closer to the goalpost. So the first one is, what skills do you need to acquire or to improve on? You have already listed out what you struggled the most with. It may be sewing skills, it may be just lifestyle skills, how to just stay motivated, what to do to sew regardless of how you feel. It may actually be sewing skills. So if you know that you're a beginner and you keep hearing finishing, and you're like, which one is this finishing? How are we going to start? So you know that you need to acquire your finishing skills. You need to learn how to finish well. Is it the cutting? You don't cut properly? Is it pattern making? You are totally lost when it comes to making pattern. I'm not laughing at you, I promise. Okay, but you need to know what skills exactly you need to make your sewing become better, to make your outfits look when you're done sewing. Also, what tools do you need to acquire? I asked you when reviewing your past, okay, what tools did you get? So this time around, you want to look around and say, oh, yes, I have a tabletop sewing machine, or I have an industrial sewing machine, I have a table, maybe I need a better chair, maybe I need sewing accessories, anything that would help your sewing become better. You already have an iron, maybe you need a steam iron, maybe you need a tailor's hand to sew your breast, to iron your breast cuffs. better. Maybe I need pattern rulers instead of just using just the basic long ruler all the time. Maybe I need pattern papers instead of using newspaper. Just things that can help make your sewing become better. Okay, as you sew, as you cut. So you want to ask yourself those questions and list them down. Now, while you're listing them down, some of you may be like, I don't have budget for this one, or I just want to. It doesn't matter. The thing is that when resources come to you, when money comes your way, if there is no plan in place, that money will not be used for the right things. Listen, I'm speaking from experience. But if you write them down, everything that you desire, everything that you need. Oh, this is $1, this is $2, this is one whatever it is in your currency. You'll find that when money comes, your mindset, your whole mind is already like, get this one, get this particular thing, get this steam iron. You saw it on Instagram, you saw it here. Okay, so write it out even if you don't have the budget. Just write everything that you think you need or you know you need to help your sewing become better. Okay, and if it is skills, write out how much it will cost or who you need to approach, who you need to meet, who you need to be closer to, who you need to spend time with, whether it's paid, whether it's free. Write it out, and subconsciously you see yourself moving towards that. You see yourself looking for the person. Well, see, God has a way of making these things come to us. You find someone talking about it online, you see it come up on your TL, someone in church, someone in where you're hanging out with. Okay, but write it out. I need to do this. I need to learn this. I think this person is the best person for me. I need to pay for this course. Write it out. Same with the tools that you need. Now, I know some of you are like, we have not started talking about the outfits that I need to sew. I trust some of you. Now, what we are doing is that we're putting systems in place. Okay. The mistake I made in the past, and many of us have done, is that we are so excited when the year starts and we list out 1 million things that we want to sew: jumpsuits, wedding gowns, blazers, this, that, skirts, and all of that. But there is no system in place. And then you find out that week after week, month after month, you don't have one new outfit for yourself. You know the saying that they say tailors never make anything for themselves. It's very true. If you are not deliberate about it, you will be sewing for others if you do it for a business, gifting others, but you will never make for yourself. So we are setting systems, we're putting it in place so that when we get to okay planning for the outfits, which we'll get to shortly, all we have to do is just get an outfit, and then when we put the system in place, just divide it into those tasks, and then voila. That way you see yourself, oh, okay, you know that in 2 weeks you can make one outfit, in 2 weeks you can make 3 outfits, depending on the systems you have put in place. So let's focus space on making our systems, putting our systems in place, and then we'll get to all the outfits and all of that planning shortly. Okay, now the next thing is, how much free time do you have? Do you have a day job? Do you have a night job? Are you a mom? Do you have kids? Are you a stay-at-home mom? How much free time realistically do you have for sewing? Okay, so when you come back, you already know, you've listed out what hindrances, what roadblocks you met last year with regards to sewing. So now you know that anytime I come back, I'm really tired. For the next 4 hours, I can't do anything. I have to cook, I have to do this. But I find out that, oh, Wednesdays I have some free time, maybe 1 hour, and on Saturdays too. Be very realistic. If it is only twice in a week that you can sew, it is better than planning for 6 days out of 7 days and you do not do any of them. Okay, so be very realistic. You can decide 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour. I usually do not advise long hours, except maybe you're sewing for business, else you would not stick to it. So even if you have maybe 2 hours, break it down and give yourself maybe 40 minutes, another 40 minutes, and then another 20 minutes. Okay, break it down, take a stroll, stretch yourself, but don't make it a stretch for long hours. So you can do 1 hour, fine, but anything like 1 hour, 30 minutes. I know time flies, but let me tell you, after a while, you are not there again. Like you, I'm not doing today. So break it down. Short time is better than a longer duration of time at a stretch. Okay, so list that out for yourself. You know what you do. You know the time you have. Are you a student and all? When is the free time uninterrupted? No friends, no anything. Just you or you and your staff if you're sewing for business. So write that out. My free time is 3 times a week. My free time is 2 times a week. Is it weeknight? Is it during the day? How many minutes? How many hours? Put it down. Okay, write it now, put it there. 4 times a week, write it out realistically. Okay, realistically. So I don't sew every day because I find out that when I sew today, the next day I'm really not in the mood. Okay, so you want to just put it there. If it's for business, you know that mood or no mood, you need to make money. So also be very realistic with your sewing time. Now the next thing is your sewing space. Okay, so your sewing space can be in your room, or if you have, an extra space outside your room or in a different place. It depends, really. Your living arrangements, but you want to take a look at your sewing space and ascertain, what can I add to this place that will make me want to spend time here, that will make me, look forward to coming to sew. Now, so for some of you, the fabrics in your sewing space is enough to even pursue anybody that even wants to come and gist with you. Like, what? How? For you to sew, you have to remove hips. Raise your hand in the comment section if this is one of you. Okay, so you want to look at your sewing space and decide, oh, I think I need a shelf. Oh, wood is expensive, carpenters are blah blah blah. Ask them, if you make a shorter one, 3 by 3 or 4 by 4, how much? Even if you don't have the money, like I said, write it out. Write it out. Ask them, how much is the least amount I can get for a decent blah 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 blah. They will tell you. Write it down, even if you don't have the money yet for it. Okay, so is it a shelf that you need? Is it somewhere to put your threads? Is it transparent buckets you need to put maybe some sewing tools or your pattern papers? Something that will just, when you come into the sewing space, you're like, it's resembling the kinds that I see on the internet, sewing studios. Okay, so whatever it is, it could even be candles. I know some of you are like, please, oh, we are looking for money, you are saying candles. But let me tell you, if you're intentional about, elevating your lifestyle, it starts with these little things. There are candles in just your normal shopping malls. Buy one small one if you cannot afford the luxury one. Just let that place smell nice. When you come, you even want to be spending more time there than your own room. Okay, so look around. Is it a painting? Just something to make that place look nice. Is it a big, fluffy, what do you call it? Pillow that you need to put somewhere just to relax when you're not on the sewing machine? Is it your sewing chair? Are you using a stool, sewing stool? Does it have foam for your buttocks? Do you need to construct another one that has just something small at the back so that you can rest your back anytime you're maybe loosening a seam? Do you need to get a better chair? So you want to really look around you and just write it out, note it out. Oh, I need to so and so to just elevate my sewing space. Okay, do you need a fan? Do you need another fan? Do you need AC there? It depends on how much you have, but write everything down realistically. Start small and then you continue to build on it. Okay, it could just be for decoration purposes. It may be for comfort, maybe for your sitting. It may be for aesthetics. It may be for your fabrics and organization. So you know best when you look at your space and then you note it down and then you begin to make plans on how to do it with the available resources. Now you see that we are putting our systems in place. So the next thing now is our action plan. Yes, we're going to be listing out the steps that it takes to make an outfit, okay, from scratch to finish. Now, of course, different outfits comes with different steps, but there are foundational steps that no matter what you're making, you definitely have to follow through. So we're going to be listing out those steps. Remember, we haven't talked about the outfit we want to make, per month, per week, per year, per whatever. Okay, we're getting to that. So to list the outfit, the steps to make the outfit, naturally you should have your measurements or you should take measurements. Okay, so that's the first step, taking the measurements for yourself or whoever you're making for. And then the next thing is using those measurements to mark on your fabric if you're making the outfit, if it's a freehand if it's freehand method that you're using. So measuring, marking, write all of that down. We'll be going back to our sewing time that we have already marked out earlier on. Okay, so measuring, marking, or making your patterns or buying patterns. Now, for patterns and all of that, look out for my other videos coming. I have so much in store for you. Yes, okay, this year is a year of intentionality for building your wardrobe. So yes, measuring, marking, or making buying patterns, or even pattern adaptation. Okay, that's using your patterns, your existing patterns, to create something else that you want to do. Maybe you already have your straight sleeve, you want to make a big flare sleeve. You don't need to start doing that from scratch. You can use your basic sleeve to achieve that. So it depends on what you're sewing, of course, but it's the same basic step: measuring, marking, or making, buying, assembling your patterns, adapting your patterns. Okay, and then the next step is assembling the pieces together, your fabric pieces together, construction, sewing the outfit, and then finishing. Finishing is the overall look of the outfit. So list all of this out one by one, and then the next thing you want to do is to allocate each of these tasks to your predefined time slots that you had already done. So I'm just going to give you an example. So say you decide that, oh, I'm going to be sewing 3 times a week. It's going to be weeknights. I'll sew for 40 minutes, and maybe the last day I'll sew for 30 minutes, and then another 30 minutes, take a break. whatever it is, do you. For some of you, your sewing time can even be two different times in the same day, depending on your available time. So you do it according to you. Everyone's own is custom made to their lifestyle. Okay, so say I want to sew a pair of pants. All right, so I've listed out my time, I've listed out the steps it takes to make an outfit. So the next thing is I take whatever outfit I decide this is what I want to make for this week or for 2 weeks. We'll get to that shortly. So I said a pair of pants. So I know that first, the thing I need to do is to take my measurements or whoever's measurements I need if I don't have it already. And then the next step is to use those measurements and mark on my fabric if I decide the trouser I'm making is freehand method I'm using, or I make my patterns. So for that very first sewing time of the week, say I start with a Tuesday, I'm not sewing on a Monday, okay, and I say it's 40 minutes. So that means my Tuesday sewing time is for measuring and making my pattern because I want to use pattern making, or assembling my pattern if I have already, maybe I bought a pattern. Okay, either one. If I'm not using pattern making method, that first sewing time is for measuring and marking on my fabric directly, all the calculation and everything. You use that first sewing time for it. Okay, and then you look at your steps. What's the next step? The next step is cutting out your fabric, right? So you go back to your next sewing time and you say, okay, so the next sewing time I have is maybe Thursday for 30 minutes. So I'm going to use this to cut out, okay, to cut out my fabric. Because you have already made the pattern or you have already measured and marked on your fabric, it's on your table. There is nobody coming around to scatter anywhere. It becomes easier for you to cut. Your cutting should not even be up to 30 minutes. The main thing, the main ingredient is that measuring, marking, or making pattern. So once you get that part right, every other thing becomes easy. Okay, so you take that cutting and then you put it into the next sewing time. And then of course, because cutting does not take time, you can actually start your construction process immediately too. You must not finish it, okay, in that same sewing time, but at least you start. So let's say I assemble my pants, and what's left, I've put zip if there's a zip, and then what's left is the waistband. I decide I've done enough for today. Okay, and then the next sewing time I have for the next day or the next whenever it is, I now finish my construction process. I add my waistband, I add everything I need to add. And if I still have time, I decide, okay, I think I can do my finishing today. And then I round it up. You find that maybe with 3 different sewing time, I have finished an outfit. Now that 3 sewing time must not necessarily be in a week. Like I said, depending on your time, someone here may say, I'm sewing only twice in a week. So you may find that you're finishing an outfit within 2 weeks or within 1 week. It depends on what you have planned. But because the system is in place, you are sure to finish an outfit within a specified time frame. Okay? Yeah. So that's what we do. We set out our time, we set out the steps, and then the next now is to determine what kind of outfit we want to make. Now, if you're a beginner here or you're one who has become more intentional in the kind of outfits you want to wear, everyone is different. So you want to determine what kind of outfits do you want to make. Do you want to build a capsule wardrobe? You want to start with making skirts, a skirt, a pair of pants, a top, a dress, a simple jacket, something that like the basics, okay? And then when you have those basics, first of all, you now build on those basics, okay? So you want to determine, and if you're a beginner, that's what I advise you to do. Make one of each first of all, and then build on that, okay? And it even becomes better and easier when you already have patterns with that. It becomes easier to develop other different styles because you already have the basic patterns for each and every one of this. And then what I advise is focus on being consistent. It is better to be consistent in smaller things than to be inconsistent with your large, unrealistic goals. So, yes, oh, you want 2 pairs of pants, you want to make palazzo pants, you want to make fitted pants, you want to make this, you want to make that. List everything out. Nobody is stopping you. List everything out. Then, out of that, what you want to do is to now list them out in order of priority. You cannot say you want to make a jumpsuit first when you don't even know how to make a pair of trousers. Why? Why? No. You cannot say you want to make a dress when you don't even know how to make a bodice. You don't know how to make a skirt. So if you're choosing your kind of outfits, please be very realistic that before I can reach this level here, I have to start with this level. So list them out realistically and then put them out according to priority. Okay, so I really need this dress, but my priority now is making a skirt and a bodice. That should be your priority if you want to be able to make a dress successfully later on. Okay, so when you list them out, you now go back to your predefined time slots that you have made and then your steps. So you take it that, okay, that means my first sewing goal this year outfit is a skirt, then the next is a bodice or is a pair of pants, and the next is a top. And then you take the trouser and then you fit it. And then when you fit it into your predefined time and your the steps, you can see that, oh, if I said I'm sewing 4 times a week, that means I can actually finish this trouser in 1 week. You're not putting yourself under pressure because you have set realistic time frame for it. If your free time is only twice a week, you can see from your predefined time that, oh, it's actually going to take me 2 weeks to finish one outfit. And then all the 52 outfits that you have listed, you'll now be able to see that there's no way that you can sew all of that by yourself with your time. That does not mean that you go back and adjust your time. This your time, predefined time is really is realistic for you because of your lifestyle. So you're going to take it slowly. Okay. Now another thing that I advise is everything that we've done here, make a plan for first quarter of the year. Don't plan it till December because truly life happens, things happen. Last year I wasn't consistent towards the end of the year. I had so much going on for me personally, emotionally, that I just could not show up. Okay, so you don't want to just plan. So plan for first quarter or first half of the year, and then at the end of the month or at the end of the first quarter, go back to what you have written and review and see that, oh, I actually have more free time. Or I don't know why I spend 2 hours on TikTok and I could have used that time to sew. So you add more predefined time to your sewing time. Okay. And you have actually have more time here or when you travel or this or that. So that review helps you to go back to the systems you have, set, the systems you have put in place, and see how you can upgrade them, update them to become more or to become less if it's too much for you. And then what I want you to do is to also visualize and tell yourself, after you've done this exercise, tell yourself, oh, by this time next month, I have one skirt, I have one top, I have one this, I have one that. Okay. Because of all that you have put in place and you're able to calculate, you can now write it down. By this time next month, by this time next quarter, I already have 3 dresses, 3 shirts, 3 this, 3 that. Okay. Now, if you're sewing as a business, there's things that you do that will be slightly different, of course, from those sewing as a hobby. First of all, you want to determine, are you sewing alone for business? Are you going to be hiring people or someone to sew with you? Or are you going to be outsourcing? Now, any of this that you choose is totally valid, depending on your time, depending on your resources available, or just, your preference. If you're sewing alone, you want to ask yourself, what can you start with? Okay, with the skills that you already have on ground. The skills you have on ground, is it enough to sew beautiful dresses that people will actually want to pay you money for? Is it enough to sew just beautiful skirts? Is it enough to sew beautiful bodies, free bodies, tight bodies, fitted bodies? Is it enough to sew wedding outfits? So you want to really be realistic. And like I said, you've already listed out skills that you need to acquire. So while you're acquiring those skills, you're using the one available first of all to make money for yourself and for your business. Now, if you're hiring, someone, maybe you want to start with one, totally fine. Or you want to outsource, they do it as well. So maybe you come with your designs and then you meet, people who are trustworthy and you tell them this is what I want. They do the cutting, they do everything. You give them the money, you take your outfit, and then you are the one that is in charge of selling it, or you give someone else to market it and sell for you. If that's what you're doing, you already have yourself covered. If you're hiring someone, okay, that's also fine. Now, what I want you to think about is what sells around you. Now, I don't want this to turn this into a marketing video, okay? But you want to be really realistic in what you're sewing for business, especially if you're doing it alone or hiring someone. What sells around you? What sells online? For some people, where they are staying or where they live or where you live, you know that there's no market. This thing has to be online for you. So you really want to do your research and see what sells. Okay. Do you want to sell to students? What you're making for students definitely will be different from what you're making for women who are working. It depends on what you want to make. Is it casual outfits? Is it free wear? There are people who make money sewing just one kind of outfits: kaftans, shirt dresses, skirts alone, pants alone. I'm telling you, yes. So you don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. Okay. For me, I always say start with 1 to 3 kinds of outfits or designs and then build from there. When you get feedback from people, it will help you determine what kind of outfits to make. I have created designs that I felt people wanted, and then at the end, everybody was like, oh, this is nice, or I don't think I want to buy it. Woo! I had done photo shoot and all of that. So please always do your research first. Don't start with all the designs in your head and you think that people will actually want those designs. You will be shocked and surprised that the thing you're thinking, somebody just wants something that is simplified or something more complex. So do your research, ask around, what do people like wearing here, what colors do they like here. Okay, I live in a country where their colors are black, red and white. So if you're making things with that color, it will definitely move markets. Okay, so you want to find out all of those things. For ceremonial wear, what do they like, what kind of colors do they like wearing. For their casual outings, what do they like. Here where I live right now, for outings, I see that sometimes they say it's an all white outing, and I'm like, white. And truly, the ladies, the guys, everybody wearing white. So if you're making ready to wear or you're making made to wear, watch my video if you don't know the difference. Yes, you need that video. You want to, have all of this information at the back of your head, okay, depending on where you're selling to or where you live, and then use that information properly. Now, when you start working with your staff, assuming you start with one staff, you'll have the experiences, you'll know what to do when next you're hiring the next staff. You use that experience that you already have gotten to increase your capacity, to increase your staff number and all of that. So it's always better to start small. And then lastly, for your business goals, you also want to look at who you can collaborate with, okay, to get your business out there. So it's always good to just start first. Don't kill yourself with, oh, who can I work with, when you have no capacity. You cannot approach someone that has a huge following and your following is just 2.5 followers, okay? So whether it's a physical collaboration or a online collaboration, you also want to get your own capacity first of all, so that if you're approaching the person, it's a win-win for both people. You're not there to sap from the person and the person, receives no value from you. So continue working on yourself, working on your business, increase your capacity, and then naturally opportunities will begin to come to you, and what you do will attract people and more opportunities. Now, if you did this exercise from beginning till end, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comment section what your predefined time will be, your time slots that you have mapped out for yourself per week. Let me know. I just want to see if you understood all that I explained. And also let me know what your sewing steps will be. I know I mentioned them, but you may have some others you want to mention. And then also let me know what outfits you think you want to start with. You can list maybe the very first 5 outfits that you would like to sew, and how long you think, from what you have already mapped out, how long it will take to complete each outfit from scratch to finish. Anyway, I hope this video was valuable to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please share to your fashionista friends or people that you know would gain from this. Like the video, please. It helps the algorithm. And of course, if you're not yet a part of us, please subscribe so that you don't miss other videos that will be coming up. I'll see you in the next video.